What's up everyone? It's Alex. Answering questions again. Let's do it. Today's question comes from Eric again. And Eric says, Alex, you have so much knowledge about motorcycles. How have you acquired so much information? Okay, first off, Eric, thank you for thinking that. I don't think I'm the most knowledgeable motorcycle person in the world. Very, very far from it. I just try to share my experiences, my opinion, and my information with you guys that I've garnered from the years. So to answer your question, for those of you that don't know, haven't followed the channel long enough, or haven't seen some of the older videos, I worked in the motorcycle industry for almost 14 years, going way, way, way back to my early 20s. I worked in restaurants. I was a cook and I managed restaurants. I also rode motorcycles. And then when I got tired of doing that one day, I was actually getting my oil changed at my local motorcycle dealer back in Florida, and I was standing on the showroom floor talking to somebody for a few minutes while my oil was getting changed in my, I think it was a Ninja 500 at that point, and the sales manager actually walked up to me and was like, hey, it seems like you like talking to people about motorcycles. Do you want a job? Which I thought was crazy, but I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of working in restaurants for right now. Sure, why not? Fast forward 14 years later, here we are. So I worked for motorcycle dealers for almost 14 years. I started as a just basic floor salesman. I did that for years. I worked in internet sales. I did internet parts sales. I did internet motorcycle sales, vehicle sales. Worked my way to finance. So I worked in finance at a dealership for a while. Then I worked my way to sales managing, and I sales managed at a motorcycle slash ATV overall power sports dealer for years and years and years and years and years. I worked for the same dealer for about 11 years. I worked for the first dealer I worked for in Florida, I worked for a couple of years, 2-3 years, and then when I moved to Tennessee, I worked for the same dealer for about 11 years doing all these different jobs. So that's where the majority of my knowledge and my experience and my opinion and my viewpoint on things comes from. Is I worked in the motorcycle industry for almost 14 years, and I have been a rider and enthusiast that entire time. So I kind of try to take those two perspectives and mix them together for you guys. On the one hand, I'm a rider, I'm an enthusiast. On the other hand, I've worked in the industry for a long time. I do not work in the motorcycle industry anymore, which is why now we've gone from doing a lot of reviews and a lot of stuff from the viewpoint of a dealer to basically answering your questions, because I don't have access to just hundreds of motorcycles anymore to review every day for you guys. Unfortunately, I'm trying to fix that, but for right now, we're stuck answering questions for you with my GT behind me, keeping me company. So to answer your question, Eric, that's where my experience, my knowledge, and my opinion comes from. I worked in the motorcycle industry for a long time. I'm also an enthusiast, so I try to share the knowledge and experience that I gained from all those years with you guys. That's why when I recommend bikes for people to buy, or when I make recommendations, I'm recommending them from the standpoint of someone who has sold lots of those bikes to people of every shape and size. I love working with beginners. I've sold so many bikes to beginners. My recommendations for beginners come from that experience. My recommendations for experienced people comes from that same experience. So most of my knowledge and the recommendations I make come from just years of working in the motorcycle industry. So hope that answers your question. That's where all that knowledge comes from. I keep reading and studying and watching videos and doing everything now on new stuff coming out and writing everything I possibly can. Hopefully I will work out something with a local dealer here soon where I can start doing reviews for you guys again. Until then, we'll keep answering questions. I'm going to do some riding here soon now that the weather is finally nice enough where I can film while I ride, because, you know, trying to film and ride motorcycles in the rain doesn't really come out with the best footage. But thank you guys for showing up and watching these stupid videos every time I put them out. I love you guys. I'm Alex. Peace.